Today we're going to cover the #1 mistake that's sabotaging your stay command. We're also going to cover the 3 concepts that you need to understand in order to teach a stay command. I'll do a live demonstration with a dog that has had 0 stay training on these stay command concepts, and then I'll cover the top 3 questions most people are asking in regard to a stay command and talk about how to apply it in real life. So let's get right into it. The #1 mistake everyone's making with their stay command is that they are rushing the process. They think their dog just naturally knows how to stay. They think on the first day of working a stay command that their dog is actually going to stay for more than 5 seconds, and that's just not true. We'll talk about the 3 concepts to a stay command in just a second, but in addition to those 3 concepts, you need to #1, take your time and progress your training slowly. Build up your dog as they are progressing. Don't rush them. Progress them as they are gaining those concepts, and then as they gain those concepts, slowly progress them to where you have your stay command where you want it. I honestly believe that every dog should learn how to stay for at least 15 minutes as a bare minimum and then go up from there. So how do you actually teach a stay? You're going to do that with the 3 concepts to teaching a stay behavior. #1 is duration. Duration is the amount of time that your dog's in a stay position. We typically like teaching our stays in a down position. However, you could also teach it in a sit position if that's how you want to get it going. So the duration, we normally start off with just a couple seconds, right? We get our dog into that position that we're going to do the stay from, which would be a down. So teaching the down would be a prerequisite for us. Once the dog's in that down, we'll start doing duration in the down. A couple seconds go by, we say good, we reward the dog. And then every couple seconds at an interval of time, we will say good and reward that dog for maintaining the stay. And as time goes on, we'll slowly increase the amount of time between our rewards, increasing the duration of the interval so that we can have the dog stay there for at least 15 minutes without a reward. And this is going to take several sessions, several days to get that done. The second step to teaching a stay behavior, the second concept, the second building block, is going to be distance. And that's distance from you and your dog. And so what we generally do, we're generally starting off on a 6-foot leash. And so when we first get our dog into that downstay and we're working on that duration, we are generally right next to the dog, about, half a foot to 1 foot away. We're working on duration. Once that duration is solidified, now we're gonna start taking a step away from the dog, right? So we're gonna increase the distance between us and our dog. A lot of dogs, when you first start doing this, they want to get up and follow you. So your dog naturally wants to start following you. So what do? We say no, we slide down the leash with our hand. We get real close to the dog on the leash and we guide them back right to where they were supposed to be at. And we put them right back into their down and their previous stay position, right? Once our dog can handle us stepping away, then we'll say good, step forward and reward them, right? So we're now rewarding for them remaining where they're at as we start stepping away. We'll do this so that we can step the full length of the leash away, 6 feet away, and walk back to our dog with no problem. Once we accomplish that, we're gonna move into the 3rd concept, the 3rd building block of the stay, and we're also going to look at when we're gonna start adding in longer leashes. So once we master the 6-foot leash, we'll go to a 10-foot leash, 15-foot leash, 30-foot leash, 60-foot leash, and then by that point we're usually done with our off-leash training once we've mastered those distances, and then we can continue to progress from there and be off-leash. The 3rd concept, the 3rd building block of training your dog to a stay behavior is going to be distraction. Now, depending on where you're training at, you may have already experienced some distractions in your training. For example, if you're training in your yard and you live in a neighborhood, there could be noises from the neighbors, noises from the neighborhood that are around you, things going on around you. Those are already distractions that are present in your training. So there's going to be a level of distraction present where you're already training at, which is great. We like that because it's already been implemented and utilized in our first step, which is the duration, and our second step, which is distance. But now we're focused on distraction. When we're focused on distraction, the first thing I want you to think about is being able to walk all the way around your dog. So I want you to visualize in your head a tire on the ground. It could be a bicycle tire or like a wagon wheel type tire, but your dog is at the center of the tire. When you, with your distance work, you've been able to walk along one of the spokes of the tire all the way to the rim. Now you're at the rim, you've done duration, so your dog's actually staying where it's supposed to stay at. You've walked away from them, so now you're at the rim of the tire that you're visualizing on the ground. Now I want you to walk around your dog on that rim. And if your dog stays where they're supposed to be at, you can say good. You can walk down one of the imaginary spokes of that wagon wheel, back to your dog, say good, reward, and then back out away from them again. So that's how I like to visualize that. But basically you're gonna work all the way around your dog. Your dog's gonna be maintaining their downstay. You should be able to do a full 360 around your dog. They hold that, right? They hold that for at least 15 minutes. Now what you're gonna do is progress to a distraction training area. So you would go to somewhere that's not your normal training area. You'd go to a park, you'd go to a hardware store, farmer's market, a festival. You would go somewhere out in your local community and you would train your stay there. So with that being said, let's get into the live demonstration on how you're actually gonna do these 3 concepts with a dog that has had 0 stay training. All right, so we got Happy Hattie out here. We're gonna work on some stay work. Don't forget our 3 points are duration, distance, distraction, okay? So she does know the basic concept of a down. So I've got a food lure right here, so I'm gonna lure her down. Good, now that we got her down, we're gonna work on our interval of time of duration, right? So she looks at me, good. If we've done all of our training up to this point properly, this is what we should be seeing, where she's relatively comfortable with staying in a down for duration for a couple seconds at a time. I am talking to you guys right now. If I wasn't talking to you, I would just wait a couple seconds and I would say good and reward as long as she's staying right here. If she chooses to look at me like she's doing, I would say good and reward when she's looking at me, at least for now. As time goes on, I'm going to increase the amount of time between my intervals of rewarding, right? And yes, we are using lots of food reward right now in training. As training progresses, we're going to titrate off the food rewards. So if you haven't learned about our training progression up to this point or how to change up your food reward schedule, you definitely need to go back and review our video, The Ultimate Dog Training Guide. You can find it on the channel. So I'm going to do some repetitions of this. We'll fast forward the video till I'm ready for the next step. All right, so she got up out of her stay after we were working on some duration. So all I did was I just held the leash so that she can't walk off on me. I'm just going to lure her right back down. Good. I'm going to say good and reward and just go right back into what I was doing for duration work. So that's what I recommend for anybody that's working on duration. If they get up, all you're going to do, you can just slide down your leash, hold them where they were at, don't let them walk off on you, and then just do a lure back into a downstay and then slack out your leash again right here. So that's our tactic when they get up out of a stay, when we're working on duration. Remember, this takes lots of repetitions, lots of time, lots of consistency. She's doing fairly well. I am slowly increasing the interval of time between rewards, and I'm just doing it in my head. I'm just doing a rough estimate. It's not like you have to sit here and count 2 seconds and reward every 2 seconds, but we're generally knowing when we need to reward to help her be more comfortable staying down and when we can increase that interval of time. All right, so we've done fairly well at our duration work. I'm comfortable starting off with some distance work now, which is the second part to teaching a stay. So generally what I do for this, all right, she's getting a little wiggly on me. All right, just making sure she's holding position. Nope, good. If she's crawling around but hasn't gotten up, I'll just say no, give a little gentle tug on the leash just to keep her focused here, right? A little bit of sniffing is not a big deal, but once you start crawling, that's a big deal. So all I do for this, when I'm starting distance, is I just take 1 step back, see how she holds it, good. Then I step forward and reward, okay? So again, I just kind of 1 step back right here, good. Step forward and reward. We got the tail going, 100 miles an hour, right? So you can do it however you want, whatever's comfortable for you. I've done it before where I've done like a half step. I just want to show my body moving away from the dog. I've even done a lean back. Good, reward, because what the dog is referencing is your upper body, but also your feet. So that's why I exaggerate the feet sometimes. Good, step forward, reward. And then I'll exaggerate the upper body sometimes. That way they get both of those perspectives. So she's done pretty good with the 1 step, so I'm just going to take a couple steps. Notice I slack out my leash like this. Good. Step forward and reward. If she got up, I'm doing the same thing we did before where you saw where she got up. I just slide down the leash, hold her in position, lure her right back down. That's all I'm doing. the whole time we're working on this stay right here. So right here, good. She thought about getting up there for a second. You could see her front paw kind of take a movement as if she's gonna support herself and get up, but she chose to stay down, which is great, right? Now I'm kind of stretching out this leash a little bit, good. Step forward, reward. What you don't wanna do is you don't wanna get to the point where you're pulling on the leash, because if you followed our training progression up to this point, your dog is trained to move with the leash, not against it. So if you start pulling on that leash, so right here, I would just say, nope. Bring her right back to where she was with the leash, right about here. Lure her down. Good. Then just keep going back to what I was doing, okay? So she's doing really well on distance with the 6-foot leash right here, okay? So this is not really a distance problem why she keeps getting up. It's a duration problem. Good. And while I'm doing this, you guys just watch how I'm handling the leash, because this can be really beneficial for slacking out the leash, slacking in the leash while you're using food rewards at the same time. But it's a duration reason why she keeps getting up. It's not a distance reason, because I'm back here hanging out. She's relatively comfortable with that, but now it's duration of me being this far away. So you might find that when you're working on a stay with a dog, you come into this problem where they're totally fine if you're right next to them for duration, but as soon as you increase distance and get out here, they're having a hard time staying down. They want to keep getting up, coming over to you. So that's all you do, is you just keep taking them back. You just be consistent with that, good. And you can kind of tell whenever she's thinking about getting up, because she starts fiddling her front paws a little bit like that before she actually moves. So I just move her right back here. See how she's going down on her own? Good. So I didn't have to lure her down that time. Good. So that's how we're going to work on distance. Nope. Right here. Good. Good. That's how we're going to work on distance. So now we're going to focus on the third step to teaching a stay, which is going to be distraction. Remember how we talked about, I want you to imagine that there's a wheel on the ground, either a bicycle wheel or a wagon wheel. It's on the ground, she's in the middle, and you're walking around the rim, right? And then you walk down the spokes to actually make contact with her. So I'm walking along the rim right now, I'm walking around. She's doing a good job holding that down stay. So I can say good, step forward and reward. Step back out to the rim, my imaginary rim, and I'm gonna keep walking around her. Good. Step out to the rim again, then I'm gonna keep walking around her. I wanna be able to do a full 360 around her. Good. Now being behind the dog is generally the hardest part, and then when you get to the part of the dog, good, where they swap their head around the other side of their body to look at you, a lot of dogs will want to get up at that point. She did a very good job, which means that all of our preliminary work up to this point has done very well in building us up to this part of her training. Good. So now I'm going to walk around the other way. So I did a full 360 walking in one direction. Now I'm going to walk the other way. So I'm going to go this way now. Good. Good. So that's great. So from here we would progress our stay work. We would do this, consistently over time, the 3 parts. And now she's ready to start going out to different locations to work on her stay behavior. Let's cover the top 3 questions that people ask when it comes to a stay behavior. So first off, a lot of people are asking, how long should their dog be expected to stay in a stay position? And the answer is, for me, that's gonna be at least 15 minutes. I recommend that you train your dog so they can at least hold a stay for 15 minutes. I do consider the stay a safety behavior, meaning if you're doing something with your dog out in your neighborhood and you put him in a down stay, they cannot get up from that because that could be a safety factor. We don't want our dog walking into the street or going over to investigate something that ends up being a venomous snake that bites them, right? So when we put our dog in a down stay, we need them to be able to stay there. The second question we get a lot is, why does my dog break the stay every time I leave the room? And the reason for this is you just haven't done enough out of sight training with your dog in regards to their stay position. So with that being said, when you're in that distraction phase of your stay training, that third building block of the stay, a part of that's going to be healthy separation and out of sight stay training. Generally, this is going to be used in your house. Some people do use it outside as well. But you want to be able to put your dog in a stay, walk into the other room for a couple minutes, walk back into the room your dog's in, and your dog still be there. Now, how do you accomplish that? What you would do is if you walk into the other room and your dog follows you in there, you're going to grab your leash, you're going to say no, give a quick tug and release on your leash for a leash correction, walk your dog back to where they're supposed to stay at, and put him back into a downstay, and then go into the other room. You might have to do this multiple times, and you can also reward your dog when they're doing a great job. So let's say you've walked into the other room, you wait a couple seconds, you walk back into the room your dog's in, your dog's staying right there. Good, walk up, give your dog a food reward, and proceed from there. So you're gonna have to do some repetitions of training in this style to increase your dog's ability to stay when they can't see you. Another question we get a lot is, what is the difference between a stay command and a wait command? And the difference is typically just a duration thing. So for us, stay means stay. If I ask you to down stay, you're expected to stay there once we've done all of our training until you're told to get up or go do something else, right? A wait command is just a temporary holding position, such as at your door, or if you're preparing your dog's food, you could say wait. They're expected to basically hang out in that position they're in. That could be standing, just waiting right there, right? You put their food down, wait, right? They don't get to eat it yet, and then okay, right? Then they get to eat it. So that's the difference between a stay and a wait. A stay could be used for long durations of time, when a wait would be just a temporary hold while you're doing something very specific. Remember, building a stay command takes time and consistency. Don't compare your progress to somebody else's. Focus on your dog, continue your progress, and celebrate your small wins. And if you want to take your training to the next level, after you work on your stay command, you're going to want to start thinking about off-leash training. And in order to ensure your dog's safety off-leash, you have to master the e-collar. We've put together a beginner's guide for e-collar training right here in this video. So come on over to this video and I'll see you there.